Okay, so now we're at the point you have written out your template for your letter complete with all the tags that you want. You have matched the tags with the questions in your Google form, and within your Google form you've created the sheet that has the responses, but there's none left in there currently. So now what we're going to do is we need to set up AutoCrat to get your information from your Google Sheet into your template letter and then to send it off to the parents. So what you'll do is you'll come to Add-ons, you'll click on AutoCrat, and you'll click Launch. And this might take a few seconds for it to load. Once it's loaded, you'll want to click New Job, and then give your job title a name. And so I'm going to call this Conferences. Click Next. I'm going to choose my template. Now this is talking about my letter template that I want to choose. So I'm going to choose from my drive, and it's really important that you have everything placed in a folder that you know the location of so you can easily access it. And so I have it right here as my letter template. I'm going to select that, and then it will fetch the tags. So it's reading through my template and it looks at all the tags that I created, and you can see we've got assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, progress, goal statement, and I've got my parents' names there. Now if there's a tag in the letter that's not matching the data sheet, the information, then there will be information that will come up. But you can see that everything's matching. So the tag in the letter maps to the column that is the same as in the form. So then there's that information is all shared. Alright, so we go to the next, and so now what we want to do is we want to tell the AutoCrat how we want to save the letters that it creates, because with every response that a parent or a student has to this email, it's going to create a document and it'll be sent to parents, but then it also a copy will be saved in your Google Drive. So what I would want to do is I want student name, and then I want / parent's name. Alright, and I want it to be saved as a Google document, and I want multiple documents because then this creates individual documents in the folder. If you do single document and you've got 91 kids, then you have a 91-page document that you have to scroll through every time to find the right parent's letter that it goes through. So multiple documents just makes more organizational sense. So then we click Next. Choose a destination folder where you want that information to be dropped into. So again, you go into your drive and you will find I've got my flipped example for video, and I'm going to just have it all put there. Then you're going to click Next once you have your destination folder. Again, this is where all those letters that are created are going to be dropped. Add dynamic folder reference. You don't need any of that. You skip it. Click Next. Merge condition. You don't need that. You can click Next. Share the docs and send email. Yes, you want the document to be shared, and you want it to be a PDF. You could do a comment-only Google Doc, that's fine too, but PDFs come out more formal, and it is going to be as an attachment rather than a link that teachers will, or that parents will be able to read. Allow collaborators to reshare. Yes, if you are collaborating with a team teacher, that's fine. You can send from a generic no reply address. So this is kind of one of those mass email type situations if you would like to do that. If you don't, it can send from your own that way as well. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you need to use your tags to set up where you are going to have your information sent. So the way that you'll be doing this is using tags as well. So remember, I had the questions that the students filled out called Dad's email address, and then a comma just as if it was an email, Mom's email address. And you only have to do this once, which is handy. Okay, so now you know where it's sending, and now you can create another, like you did before with the letter template, a similar template email that will that's going to send to every teacher. So you could say in preparation for conferences, you could say Q1 check-in. I'm going to put that in for your student, and then student name. So then it gives kind of the parents the understanding that, hey, this is actually about your kid. You need to pay attention to it. It's not just some mass email that's coming. And then again, you write your message here. Dear parents name, and everything format-wise sticks with it, so you would have the commas here and laid out that way. And then you put your information, and then if you want to include another form that might share some opportunity for parents to ask the teacher questions before conferences, you can include that here. So please put any questions for conferences into this form. And then you put, obviously that's not the link to your form. Thanks. And you want to mention, and I'll send a template to this as well, but attached is a progress letter created by your student to give you an idea of how quarter one has gone. So you have your email all laid out there, and again, I can change that. Instead of your student, make it more personal, student name, and thank you, Mr. Williams. Okay, so now my letter is done, and now I can click next. Now, here's the triggers. The triggers, you want yes on we're updating the project triggers. We want it to be yes on a project trigger. And what that means is that every time new information drops into this Google Sheet, AutoCrat's going to work. So this form trigger means that when new information comes and is added to this Google form, then the trigger runs. You can put a time limit on it if you want, but really we want this one, that the form trigger, that when new information comes, then AutoCrat goes to work. And then we click save. And now it is done. So now that the job is done, you can come in here and preview the information of what it's going to look like. And so it tells you what rows are going to be loaded. This is the job, sending the email to these addresses, no reply. This is what the letter sounds or says, that sort of thing. You can go back and edit it if you need to, or if you're not, you're good. So then, if you'd like to test it, you can go in and fill in your Google form and insert your email addresses here into these sections, and then you should get an email response.